Imagine stepping into streets so narrow that buildings nearly touch overhead, where every breath carries the smell of horse manure and coal smoke, where chamber pots empty from upper windows without warning, where the noise is so overwhelming you can barely hear yourself think. Today we're doing exactly that. We're taking you on an immersive walking tour through Georgian London, before the Industrial Revolution, before Victorian reform, when this city was already one of the world's greatest and most chaotic metropolises. Using advanced AI, we've reconstructed this lost world from period paintings, engravings, street maps, and eyewitness accounts, transforming fragmented evidence into a street-level journey you can actually experience. We'll walk these streets together, from the cramped alleys of the East End to the grand squares of Mayfair, from the chaotic docks on the Thames to the bustling coffeehouses of the city. From dawn to dusk, we'll move through this extraordinary city as Londoners once did. If you stay until the end, we'll walk these same routes in modern London and reveal what survived from this remarkable era. Let's step into 1700s London. It's 5 in the morning. We're standing on London Bridge. The sun hasn't risen yet, but the city is already awake. Church bells ring out across the skyline. First St. Paul's, then others join in, a cascade of sound marking the hour. Look around. The bridge beneath our feet isn't just a crossing. It's a street lined with buildings, shops, houses, even a chapel, all built directly on the bridge spanning the Thames. Below us, the river is already busy. Wherries, small passenger boats, dart between larger vessels. Boatmen call out for customers. The water is dark, moving slowly, carrying the waste of 500,000 people downstream. The smell hits you immediately. River water mixed with sewage, fish, tar from the boats. Even at this early hour, it's inescapable. Let's walk north into the city. As we step off the bridge onto Lower Thames Street, the sounds intensify. Footsteps on cobblestones, doors opening, shutters thrown back, the city waking in waves. The streets are narrow, barely wide enough for 2 carts to pass. Buildings lean inward, their upper floors jutting out, creating corridors so tight that morning light struggles to reach the ground. The cobblestones beneath our feet are uneven, slick with moisture and worse. Watch your step. Horse manure, household waste, rotting vegetables, all mixed in the gutters. We're walking toward Billingsgate now. Can you hear it? The fish market is already in full operation. As we approach, the noise becomes a roar. Fishmongers shouting, buyers haggling, carts clattering, hundreds of voices competing to be heard. Fresh mackerel, oysters, penny a dozen, herrings, fine herrings. The smell is overwhelming. Fresh fish, rotting fish, salt, the river, all mixing in the cold morning air. Look at the scene around us. Stalls packed with the morning's catch. Fishwives gutting fish right on the spot, tossing entrails into the street. Buyers inspecting produce with expert eyes, negotiating every price. There are no fixed prices here. Everything is bargaining. A buyer picks up a fish, examines it, names a price. The seller scoffs, counters higher. Back and forth until they agree or one walks away. This is commerce in 1700s London. Personal, loud, and utterly exhausting. Let's move west toward Cheapside. As we walk, notice how the streets fill with people. It's not even 6 in the morning, but thousands are already out. Workers heading to jobs, servants on errands, apprentices opening shops, and the vendors, everywhere, vendors. A milkmaid walks past carrying a yoke with pails on each end, calling out, "Milk! Fresh milk below!" A water carrier stops at a doorway, selling buckets from the public pump. No running water in most buildings means every drop must be purchased or carried. A chimney sweep, his face already black with soot, calls up to windows, "Sweep! Sweep your chimneys!" Think about waking up to this every single morning. Not an alarm clock, but the constant shouting of street vendors. This is London's soundtrack, from sunrise to sunset. We're on Cheapside now, one of the major commercial streets. Shops line both sides, mercers selling fabric, goldsmiths displaying their work, haberdashers, grocers, booksellers. Shop fronts are open, goods displayed to attract customers. But look at what's happening in the street itself. It's chaos. Horses pull carts loaded with goods. Sedan chairs carried by two men weave through the crowd. Pedestrians dodge between vehicles. There are no sidewalks, no traffic rules, no order whatsoever. Watch. A carriage is coming through. People scramble out of the way. It doesn't slow down. If you're not paying attention, you'll get run over. The noise is incredible. Not just general roar, but specific sounds layered on each other. Cartwheels on cobblestones, horses whinnying, vendors shouting, shop signs creaking in the wind, church bells, street musicians, people talking, arguing, laughing. It never stops. From dawn until nightfall, London sounds like this. Let's turn north towards St. Paul's Cathedral. As we walk up the hill, the Great Dome rises before us. This is Wren's masterpiece, completed just decades ago, dominating the London skyline. The churchyard is already busy. This isn't just a religious space, it's a commercial and social hub. Booksellers have stalls set up around the cathedral. People browse titles, discuss the latest publications, argue about ideas. This is where news and ideas spread, through printed pamphlets, newspapers, books sold right here in the shadow of the church. But keep walking. We're heading to a coffee house. We're entering Jonathan's Coffee House on Change Alley now. Open the door and step inside. Immediately, warmth, smoke, and the smell of coffee and tobacco hit you. The room is packed with men sitting at tables, standing in groups, moving between conversations. Listen, everyone is talking at once. Deals being made, news being shared, arguments about politics, trade, everything. Look at that corner. Men trading stocks and shares, shouting prices, making deals with nothing but verbal agreements and handshakes. At another table, someone reads a newspaper aloud while others listen and comment. Near the window, a heated debate about the latest parliamentary decision. This is the real innovation of 1700s London. No internet, no phones. But information flows here remarkably fast through face-to-face conversation. Want to know what ships arrived yesterday, what their cargo is worth, what prices are being offered? You come here and talk to people. Want to trade stock, make business deals, hear political news? This is where it happens. Let's leave and walk toward Covent Garden. As we move west, notice how the neighborhoods change. Streets are wider, buildings slightly more elegant. We're moving from the commercial city toward areas where wealthier Londoners live and shop. We're approaching Covent Garden Market now. Listen, you can hear it before you see it. Turn the corner. The piazza is packed with stalls selling fruits, vegetables, flowers. Farmers who traveled in from surrounding areas before dawn display their produce. Buyers swarm between stalls. Servants from wealthy households, professional cooks, housewives. The bargaining is fierce. Watch. A cook inspects potatoes, squeezes them, names a price. The farmer laughs, counters higher. The cook walks away. The farmer calls her back. They settle somewhere in the middle. Let's walk south toward the Thames and the docks. As we move toward the river, the neighborhoods change again. Streets get narrower, more crowded, rougher. Buildings more decrepit. This is working-class London. Entire families live in single rooms. Buildings lean dangerously. The streets are filthier, less maintenance, more people crammed into less space. The people we pass look different too. Rougher clothes, harder faces. These are laborers, dock workers, the poor trying to survive in one of the world's most expensive cities. We're approaching the docks now. The smell of the Thames gets stronger. That distinctive mix of river water, sewage, tar, fish, and industry. As we walk west again, we're approaching the fashionable squares where wealthy Londoners live. Notice the change. Streets are wider, cleaner. The buildings are elegant townhouses instead of cramped tenements. Even the smell is better, though nothing eliminates the underlying city odors entirely. This is Mayfair. Look at these houses. Tall, symmetrical, built of brick and stone. Iron railings, well-maintained facades. A completely different London from what we just left. Watch. A sedan chair is coming toward us. Two strong men carry an enclosed chair with a passenger inside. It stops at a house. A well-dressed man steps out without ever touching the filthy street. That's one way wealthy Londoners travel, carried above the muck everyone else walks through. It's late afternoon now. Let's head toward the pleasure gardens. We're walking to Vauxhall Gardens. Cross the river. We can take a wherry, one of those small passenger boats. Notice how busy the river is even now. Boats everywhere moving people and goods. The Thames is London's highway. We've arrived at Vauxhall, pay the shilling entrance fee and step inside. Look at this transformation. Lamps illuminate tree-lined walkways. Music plays from pavilions. People stroll in fine clothes. Vendors sell food and drink. This is one of the few places where different social classes mix, not as equals, but in the same space, enjoying similar pleasures. Wealthy merchants walk the same paths as clerks. Aristocrats and tradespeople watch the same entertainers. It's not social equality, but it's closer than most of London gets. As evening falls, let's walk back into the city. Notice how the character changes as darkness approaches. The working day is ending. Shops are closing, but the streets remain crowded. The purpose shifts from commerce to whatever brief recreation people can afford. Street vendors now sell hot pies, roasted chestnuts, gingerbread. The smell of cooking food temporarily overwhelms other odors. Public houses, taverns, are filling with patrons. Listen to the noise spilling out. Loud conversations, laughter, occasionally arguments. Watch the lamplighters making their rounds, igniting oil lamps at intersections. But there aren't many lamps. Most streets will be dark within the hour, and it's getting dark now. Notice how quickly the streets empty. Without electric light, darkness is complete. The few oil lamps provide minimal illumination. Most streets fall into shadow, and London at night is dangerous. There's no organized police force. The night watchmen, we can see one there with his lantern, are usually old men who'll run from trouble rather than confront it. See those figures in the shadows? Could be pickpockets, muggers, prostitutes. The streets after dark belong to whoever is desperate or bold enough to claim them. If you're smart, you're heading home or staying in groups. Notice how people move quickly, stay together, avoid dark alleys. This is why most Londoners go to bed when the sun sets. Not just because candles are expensive, but because being out at night is genuinely risky. Let's end our journey here. As darkness falls and London transforms from chaotic marketplace to dangerous labyrinth. This was daily life in 1700s London, not a romantic period drama, but an immersive, visceral reality. Walking these streets meant constant assault on your senses, the noise that never stopped, the smells that never faded, the crowds that never thinned, the filth underfoot, the danger after dark. But it also meant being part of something extraordinary, walking through markets connecting goods from across the globe, stepping into coffee houses where ideas spread and fortunes were made, moving through a city that, despite its chaos and filth, was building the modern world. Before the Industrial Revolution mechanized everything, before Victorian reforms cleaned the streets, before modern infrastructure made cities livable, there was this, raw, brutal, vibrant, and profoundly human. This was London in the 1700s, a city you could walk through, smell, hear, and experience in ways impossible to imagine from a history book. Unforgiving, ingenious, and unforgettable.